I was actually wanting to be an actor, and I hated waiting tables, and I had to figure out something else to do. And way back then, it was there was almost like personal training almost didn't exist. There were places like the New York Health and Racket Club. Equinox didn't exist back then, and Nautilus had at that time in the mid '70s had begun. Arthur Jones, Ellington Darden had begun creating these machines and creating centers, Nautilus training centers, and in high school in around 1977 or so, 78, I participated in. I went to one of these gyms, and it was the single most difficult thing I had ever done in my life. In fact, it was so difficult, like I went 4 times and I never went back. That's right. What's important for people to understand about that, because I know the bodybuilders like Arnold Schwarzenegger and a lot of these other guys popularized like pumping iron and all that. They popularized this system and made it look as if, because they were taking anabolic steroids and things like that, they made it look as if weightlifting just gave you big, bulky, tight muscles. And that's it's sort of like the way it's unfortunate that people think artery clogging saturated fat is actually something that's real, right? Mm. So there are a lot of things, but one of them in particular is that weightlifting is going to give you big, bulky muscles, when that's just simply not true. Most of the men and women you see who look like that are genetically gifted, just like Paul Newman's blue eyes. Or men who are our age who have full heads of hair. It's genetic, right? Don't you wish, Pete? You're right. After I read Protein Power Life Plan, and spoke with Dr. Eads, and we collaborated, Dr. Richard Feynman was also a mentor of mine. It strongly influenced my thinking about and helped me very much in understanding, because I am not a nutritional expert. I'm not. But I like to think that I read a lot and know a lot about it, and people like Dr. Eads and Dr. Feynman have helped me to understand this. But one of the things that I recently started to do, this is in 2018, I guess, I was reading Dr. Jason Fung's work, and a few other experts on fasting and the therapeutic effects of fasting, specifically how it affects autophagy, which is basically your body cleaning up its junk proteins and seeking out sugars within the fat cells, and basically just cleaning itself up, as well as causing improvements in hormonal tone, specifically increasing growth hormone to a degree. So I thought to myself, as an aging man, I thought to myself, this would be really interesting to see if it worked for me. I was lucky in that I had purchased for each studio a device called an in-body body composition machine. They're sort of research grade. They're not like $200 ones you get at Sharper Image. They're each about 10 grand each, and they're research grade. And I thought, let me see. I'm going to embark upon prolonged intermittent fasting, and then basically eating just animal matter, a salad here or there, but basically just animal matter as my main source of fuel, and see what happens. So long story short, so what I also did was I went to a medical facility where I got a DEXA scan of my body composition, just to check it against the in-body machine, because the DEXA is sort of pretty much the gold standard when it comes to a singular device. And over the course of 3 months, I lost 14 pounds of fat, gained 7 pounds of lean mass, including bone mass at 57 years of age. That, and I had been doing low carb, weightlifting. I just hadn't incorporated any fasting. So what I was doing was fasting minimally 16, more like 18 hours every single day. And then in my feeding window, so to speak, between 4 and 8, I ate meat, lamb, pork, steak, fish. If it walked, crawled, flew, swam, or slithered, I ate it. And I had every single health marker got better. My A1C got better. My glucose got better. And I was already healthy. But everything just got a little bit better. And I had managed to increase my lean tissue. And I didn't change the way I exercised. I just kept doing the slow burn training twice a week. I had, according to a DEXA scan, and at the end of the scan, you sit with a physician who is an expert at the scan, who sits with you and says, okay, this is what you did. And I have the reports like right there. It was so impressive. The doctor said to me, he reads it, before and after, and he's like looking at it going, and he looks at me and he goes, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And I told him, and he was like, really? And I said, yeah, really. And he said, you have the second best DEXA reading I have ever seen on a man. And the first one was a 25-year-old triathlete, and he wasn't much better than you.